Welcome to the Discussion Lab, the show where we talk about issues that make us tick as people. I am your host, Sammy Moore.
Would you call yourself a good friend? No, really, I'm asking you a question. Would you call yourself a good friend, at least to one other human being? And I really hope that you have at least one person that will call you a good friend, or at least they can rely on you. But I've been thinking about something for a couple of days, and I had this discussion with someone close to me. I have a few people who are very close to me, and I just thought it might benefit you. It might not. Let's see. Today, I want to talk about friends, more specifically, being your own friend, right? And I realized that many of us are not friends with ourselves. What do I mean? Let's break this concept apart. I'm talking about a friend, someone you have a bond with, right? A connection with, and who is there for you for the highs and for the lows, for the happy times and the sad times, for the tough times and the easy times, for the great times and the not so good times. If you realize that someone is there only for the great times, you have to ask yourself a question. And you realize that you only go to someone during the down times, you might not be treating the person as a good friend. You are only draining energy from the person. But friends is really a topic that we can go in so many angles. But today, let's talk about being your own friend. I don't think that many of us really are good friends to ourselves. Me, for example, I am one person who is very hard on myself. I am such a big critique of my own work myself that sometimes when people critique my work or they criticize me, it's not even enough what I do to myself. It's not healthy. I'm aware of that, but it's just something I do. When I produce a work, I'm so hard on myself. I criticize myself so much. But again, I'm in a very reflective state and period of my life for the last couple of years. And I hope I stay there because I really like this state. I'm able to find things that are not so great in my life and work on it. And this is one of them, not being a great friend to myself. And so I'm realizing that many of us are not great friends to ourselves, right? Especially when we are down and we need to pick ourselves up. So the point is, what is a friend? A friend is someone, as we're saying, who is at the end of the day there for you when you need a person, whether in happy times or in bad times. And so I think I was listening to a Jordan Peterson lecture online on YouTube. I can't recall, but I knew it was a lecture for sure. And he was talking about being your friend. And I think it was from either Nietzsche or one of the great philosophers from the past. And he gave an example where he had a patient once and the lady was not putting in all the advice that they gave her to implement, right? But he realized that the lady had a dog and the lady was treating the dog better. So at a point, the dog got obese, got very, very heavy, very obese, very overweight. And the lady tried her best to make sure that the dog would get back to it because the veterinary told the lady that if your dog doesn't get back to it, the dog might die, right? And so once she heard that was her only friend, so she made sure that, hey, you are not going to die of me. Even when it was time for the dog to take its pills, he would force the dog to take it, talk to the dog, do everything possible, encourage the dog to go for walks. The point is, many years, this is some many years ago, now that this episode dawned on me again, it hit me, and I was realized that many of us don't even treat ourselves as we would if we had a dog. What do I mean? There are times where you know that you are obese, you are overweight, and you know exactly what you are supposed to do, but it's so hard for you to do it. However, if a friend comes to you that I am obese and I am overweight and I need help getting back on, during your free time, can you text me and say, let's meet every Friday after work or before work, whichever fits your schedule, and even on the weekends to go for a walk, and you put it in your plan. I realized that many of us would actually go that extra mile, putting it in our plan and supporting our friend to get back on a healthier path. Also, one of my brothers, I have a big family. I realized that he's such a great friend to others, right? Some of his friends at the points where they were having a hard time with school, he would help them with their assignments. He would even help them at a point do the applications where they needed to go and do courses outside the country. But when it was time for him to do the same for himself, it got harder. He was saying, I can't do it and stuff. And I had to be hard on him. Hey, you were able to do it for others. Why can't you do it for yourself? I'm not saying that you have to figure everything out, but at least put in the effort you would for a friend. And so that got me thinking about it. And me, for example, there are certain amount of money that it's difficult for me to spend on myself. My own money that I work for, but I won't go out necessarily to splash the money on myself. But let my brother or my sister or any of my parents or any family that I care about call me that they need money. I'm eager to send so much money to them. Why? And so that's what I've been thinking about. Why are we such great friends to others but not ourselves? Think about what I'm telling you, right? You may not even spend $1,000 if you have the money, that is, or $500 or 100 euros or cedis or naira, wherever you are, on yourself. But you can easily give it out to a family member. So today's episode is just really be a friend to yourself. In the essence, what do friends do? Friends encourage each other when the other party is down, right? So they support each other. If you have a friend and the friend is down, you support the friend as much as you could. In the same way, when you know your friend is making a bad choice and you care about the person and you know the action your friend is taking, it may cause harm to them, you go to the friend and tell the friend, hey, I don't think this thing you're doing might be in your best interest. If it is indeed your friend, you should be able to voice it. Not don't go and fight with the person, but at least in as much calmness as you can, let the friend know that I care about you. And in my humble opinion, I don't think this is the best option for you. Friends also encourage each other. When someone is going on an endeavor, on a difficult task, a new job, a new skill, whatever they are trying to do, and it gets harder for them, you give them words of encouragement. You support them, you encourage them. You have to give them that encouragement. These are some of the little things that friends do. There are so many other things, but the main thing is a friend will support you in times of need, and they will encourage you when you are losing energy or your motivation or your drive is going down. They have to remind you your goal, your vision, and it's not always about them. A friend is someone who knows that it is this time about you and they show up for you and be there for you. It's not always about them. That is a good friend. And many of us, I believe, are good people and good friends. In that same way, how often do you support yourself? No, really, think about it. How often do you support yourself when you are going through a hard time? How often do you encourage yourself? Speak good words into yourself, word of encouragement, word of wisdom into yourself. Or how often do you encourage your own self when your energy is down and you're on the task? Do you remind yourself why you needed this dream or why you wanted to take this course or this skill? You have to be a good friend to yourself. And so today's episode is really, really going to be short. I'm just here to remind you that if you sacrifice a lot for your friends, for people who are not even your direct family, even if they are, it's about time you support yourself. It's about time we support ourselves. Because guess what? You need to support yourself to get to the next level so that you can support those you really care about more. Right? And so sometimes you need to be a great friend, not only a good friend, a great friend to yourself, so that you can be a better friend to those who need you, to your spouse, to your partner, to your child, or the children under your care. Even at work, you have to be a great friend to yourself. Speak words of encouragement into yourself when you need it. Support yourself. Don't always be your own biggest critique. Criticizing your work is good, but that shouldn't also be the only thing. When you do great work, be proud of yourself that yes, you did a good work. Sometimes take a break and clap for yourself that you really did a great work. And that is what I want to just draw your attention to. Please don't only be a great friend to someone else. Let's try. And again, I'm only talking about my weaknesses, things I observe about myself. Let's try to be good friends to ourselves. Let's support ourselves. Let's encourage ourselves. If we can't do at least these things now, let's stop bashing ourselves too much. Let's stop criticizing ourselves too much. Oh, I'm a dumb person. I don't know why I'm so stupid. I don't know why I'm so fat. Yeah, but fine, you're fat, but be a good friend to yourself. Let's do something about it. How about instead of us drinking 4 Cokes a day, let's try to make it 3 or maybe 3.5. At least you are half less than the previous time. How about it's too difficult for me to go for a walk? Let me just stand outside my window for sunlight 2 minutes. And if you can't go outside your door for 2 minutes, just natural sunlight, irrespective of the weather, so long as there's not a crazy storm out there. I think that 2 minutes of sunlight is a good start if you just want to start walking. Don't even go far. Stand outside your place 2 minutes. Don't be on your phone, please. Just spend time with yourself. Again, friends talk to themselves. Many of us cannot have conversation with ourselves, right? Spend time with yourself sometimes. Like, just sit down without your phone, without social media, and just be on your own. Be on yourself. It's about time that we make time for ourselves and for our body to be within our body and not be engaged in other things. But hey, what do I know? I'm really just a naive observer who shares his thoughts. I know nothing. Peace.